You see that? Now you guys can't call me a misogynist. What's up?
Hello.
Hi.
I just have a question about what do you think women should be doing if you do believe that we are supposed to be submissive and following a role of the husband, which I do believe in Catholicism, having the man as a leader. But I do believe in having an education, which is why I'm here at the University of Florida. And so I just want your opinions on that.
So I understand that we live in a different world. I understand that inflation is high, cost of living is high. You need a dual income a lot of the times to make it. But what I say is, like, I think women should be prioritizing a family and finding a guy over school. I'm not saying, like, don't go to school at all, but I think that women put way too much of an emphasis on education, traveling, being a whore, partying, and having their fun, right? Girls just want to have fun. There's a reason why that song was a hit song since the 1980s, etc. And men are like a distant, like 6th or 7th place. Like in my first book, I talk about this. Like most women, when you ask them, like, hey, peg your priorities, like men in a relationship and marriage is like 6th, 7th place. And it's only until women get older that they start to change their priorities. But by then, a lot of the times they're not in a commanding space to get a certain caliber of guy anymore, right? If you're a 30-year-old woman, right, who's dated around, make $100,000 a year, etc., you're not going to be the same as a guy that makes $100,000 a year that's 30 years old, right? Like men respond to different things than women do, and I think one of the biggest lies we tell women is that, like, getting a career, getting an education is going to be the path to finding a guy, and quite frankly, it actually hurts you by doing that.
Well, I still believe in getting an education, but there is over 50% of marriages that do get divorced. So when it comes to those situations and you have single mothers, most of the time, I mean, you have single mothers and alimony, which is not guaranteed. So during that time, should a woman be
also
working?
Keep in mind, who initiates a divorce 80% of the time?
Women.
It's the women. So, and this is what I'm trying to say, like, this is why feminism is so pernicious, because it incentivizes women to marry you and then divorce you. Because if you look at it, the man in a relationship is supposed to, like, provide, provisioning, protection, etc., right? All these different things. And the woman's supposed to provide sexual access. If you get divorced, you are still on the hook for those responsibilities while she's not. So it's a completely rigged system, which is why I tell guys, like, don't get married with the state. Puts you in a very bad spot, especially if you're a higher earner. Because what ends up happening is women become incentivized to divorce you and take your resources. They transfer the wealth from the state to her. And if you don't comply, you go to jail.
Okay, but in the belief, if you do believe in the sacrament of marriage, like in Catholicism, then you wouldn't believe in divorce and you'd believe in seeking resources instead.
Yeah, that's an ideal situation, but women always reserve the right to be Christian and Catholic until they're not happy anymore in the relationship, and then they, become secular for a couple of months, initiate the divorce, then they go back. You know what I mean? So divorce is heavily incentivized in our society, and there's an entire industry behind it. We're talking about family court lawyers, judges, court systems. It's a billion-dollar industry.
And what would you propose that your solution to divorce is, if there's so many men that do sleep around and then have that habit going into marriage?
Well, my suggestion is that guys have to understand female nature and pick the right one, and, date meticulously and vet women, almost to an excruciating detailed point, and to make sure that she's not going to come in and fuck your life up. Because we have way more to lose than women do.
Thank you.
No problem.
Yo, what's up? What makes you think that someone is worth something? What makes someone worth something? No, I'm done.
Yeah, can you be a bit more specific? That's a very broad.
What traits of a person or qualities makes them worth something? You like to say that women are worth less, so you must know what makes someone worth something.
A girl is not a slut?
Wow, that was so philosophical, bro. Come on.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
Any woman with self-respect would never talk to you, bro. So tell me, why? What makes you think that women deserve less, bro? And I know so many great women with pride, self-respect, morality. Bro, what type of woman do you talk to on the daily basis? What are the women that you attract that you talk to? What type of woman are they? Not saying that there's anything wrong with OnlyFans girls. There's
a lot wrong with them.
they may lack some self-respect. That doesn't make them worthless. They may feel like they're worth less and less, but that doesn't make them worth less, bro. But those are the women you talk to that feel like they are worth less. You've never talked to an actual great woman in your life with pride, with humanity, with dignity. You have no idea what those words even mean, bro, because you don't convey it. You don't express it. You are hurting these women and you don't care. What do you think of morality, bro? Is morality an important trait? To be moral and compassionate and empathetic, is that important?
Damn, this guy's really trying to get laid tonight. Okay. Yeah, so here's the thing, dude. Men and women are different, okay? Girls that are sluts are not respected because it's easy. Guys that are capable of being sluts are respected because it's hard. It's not easy for guys to attract women, but it's very easy for women to attract men. It's just very simple. So the barrier to entry is low, so therefore it's not respected.
Dog, you did not
as far as like, go ahead.
You didn't answer my question. I'm asking about morality. Do you believe morality and empathy and compassion are important things in this world?
Well, you can be polite to girls that are 304s, but that doesn't mean you have to date them.
Dog, nothing you say is polite. You disrespect their humanity in every way. That is the
For telling the truth? If you do OnlyFans, that you're a whore?
Bro, no man who has ever been treated well by a woman would act like you. You've clearly been scarred horribly, bro, and I'm sorry. I am so sorry that happened. Whatever happened to you, I am so sorry that it has made you that way. I would hate to live a life where I'm a shitty person, bro. That would make that is the saddest, the darkest life possible, and I feel sorry for you, bro. You have no compassion. The things that make us human, you have none of, bro.
Besides your emotional arguments, like what is your actual like?
That was none of
What
that.
is your
was,
actual argument?
That women have pride, dignity, humanity, and you deny them all of that. What defines dignity? Self-respect, strength, self-worth, humility. Yes, exactly.
And these are all traits that OnlyFans girls and thoughts don't have.
Yeah, the only ones you talk to, bro. That's why you don't know, because they're the only. I'm sorry, because those are the only ones that you talk to.
No, we
That's
brought
why
plenty
you
of
do
girls
not
on our
know.
show that have PhDs, master's degrees, higher education. We brought girls from all different walks of life, man.
And you, I'm sure you disrespected them, huh?
Well, a lot of them are dumb, if we're going to be honest. Not all, but a lot of them are. A lot of them lack critical thinking skills despite higher education.
All right, so you never answered my question. Women with dignity, self-respect, humility, self-worth. There's none of them. They don't exist on this planet because I know thousands. I know.
Of course they
hundreds of
exist,
them.
but they're a minority.
All right, so then some women do deserve equal as men. You just admitted it. They have dignity. Why would they deserve any less? You just admitted it.
Look, bro, like
If you want to make a
it's
generalization,
not all or nothing. Like we're speaking in generalities here.
Oh, you're speaking in generalities.
Yes,
How
this
do
is how
you-
the world works. We speak in generalities.
Yeah, you only know what's general.
There's always going to
Those
be
are the
exceptions to
only
the
women you
rule
talk to.
every time. But what I'm saying for the guys here is that the dating landscape has changed significantly, and guys need to prepare for the new normal. Your methodology of being a simp no longer works. Okay, like putting on the cape for women and being the nice guy and fighting for them and everything else like that. That's not respected, okay?
Regardless of whatever they lack that you think they lack, they're still human beings. So you think it's okay to hurt other human beings. That's your whole, bro, you are hurting people. I don't care whether they're women, whether they're the races that you discriminate against. You are hurting people. Do you not care that you are hurting people, bro?
The only thing I can do is tell the truth. I'm not in control of other people's feelings and how they respond to the truth.
You haven't made a single philosophical.
So if I tell the truth,
bro, you haven't made a single philosophical argument. I'm giving you real profound philosophical arguments.
No, you've just been like vomiting emotional arguments.
Bro, you're answering them with women deserve less because they're sluts. That is your argument, bro. How did you rise to fame as an intellectual? Calling a woman a slut is not an argument.
No, I'm saying men shouldn't commit to sluts.
Okay. All right, so that's your
Big
argument.
difference.
No, but you're actually saying women deserve less. So and you're saying you're making generalizations, but saying women deserve less, that doesn't sound like a fucking generalization.
It is.
Woman.
When you date a girl or when you're dealing with women, you have to give them less. In today's landscape, you can't be a gentleman anymore. Chivalry is dead and women killed it.
Give me a philosophical argument as to why.
I just explained it. Women have changed. They have their own money. They have their own status. They're educated now. So a nice regular guy no longer cuts it. So men now only have to be attractive and competent and, educated and have money. They have to compete. So what I tell guys is you have to deal with the new normal. because average women no longer want average men, so you must be above average.
Okay,
So this is why they deserve less.
Okay, I'll respect that first part, but I don't understand how that equates to them deserving less, bro. They've elevated themselves in society. Why do they deserve less now?
Yeah, see, this rhetoric right here is a big part of the problem.
Bro?
Like
I think hate speech is a part of the problem.
Hate
I think
speech?
inhumanity is a part of the problem.
It's really truth speech.
Bro,
Because
you hear how your only argument is I'm speaking the truth. I give you an argument and you say, yeah, but I'm speaking the truth. That's
I
your
am.
one argument.
Men and women are biologically different.
You just made the
and
same argument.
Here's the thing. Men and women are biologically different, and your egalitarian worldview of, pedestalizing females is just not going to work for
I'm
the
not
majority
putting
of guys.
them on a pedestal. I'm
You
saying
you quite literally are.
I'm putting them on
literally
a
are.
pedestal compared to your terms, but I'm saying they deserve the same amount as us, bro. They are human
I just
beings.
told you egalitarian.
I know many great
equality
women.
doesn't work.
I
between
know
men and
many
women.
great women, and if they have to struggle to survive to do OnlyFans, it's because men put them in that position, bro. You need some fucking historical context, bro.
Oh man.
Yo, even if they are doing OnlyFans and even if they are wrong for it, they're still human fucking beings, bro. Treat people with fucking dignity. Have some fucking respect, bro. They're humans. All right, I'm gonna end on that.
All right. There you go. That's actually very interesting and revealing. Guys, that is why women behave the way that they do. Guys like that don't hold females accountable for their bad behavior. They act like morons. If you have something to say, you can come up to the mic instead of booing. Defend your belief system. Man.
Myron, good to see you.
Good to see you too,
We
man.
know
How are
a
you?
Mutual friend, John MLD. I actually invited him to be here, but you probably know he's got some surgery he's going through, so he couldn't make it.
Yes.
My question to you, knowing that you're a data guy, this dating and marriage scene, is it getting better or is it getting worse?
I think it's getting worse, man. Not to promote the book or whatever, but I go into detail about how I think pornography, AI, dating apps, sugar dating, there's been a stark uprising in a lot of these different categories, and I see relationships between men and women getting worse and not better over the next couple of years, because the problem is that a lot of guys struggle to get girls and get laid. So what do men do when they have a problem? They fix it. They find some type of way to solve their issue, right? This is why we have electricity and cameras and, the modern society we have. They're finding ways to make things more convenient and easy. This reproductive problem, I think, is going to be next. I mean, we're already starting to see sex robots. We're starting to see AI. Things are changing significantly. So what's going to happen is, my prediction is, men are going to be able to solve their reproductive problem of getting laid faster than women are going to be able to solve their marriage problem and relationship pursuit problem faster than women can solve that problem. So what's going to happen is, because obviously, guys, we create everything, so we're going to solve that problem first. And then for women, that their needs of being in a relationship and everything else like that, that's going to come down the line. And it's going to be hard to replicate, because women actually need emotional attachment. They need that human element. Men are interested in things, women are interested in people. So it's going to be a lot harder to satisfy a woman emotionally with AI versus satisfying a man sexually or emotionally with AI. We're simple, they're not.
Right.
So-
So do you think it's going to collapse before it gets better?
That's what I think, yeah.
Okay.
And
Well,
and the numbers show it, man. Like in every single metric, marriage rates are down, divorce rates are high, women initiate most of the divorces. Women find most men as just unattractive overwhelmingly. Most men don't make enough money, or they're just not tall enough. They're not attractive. So we're cruising for a bruising, man. Birth rates are low. So these are all like very real problems.
Well, I'm doing my part. I just celebrated 27 years of marriage. Red back
Congratulations,
there,
man.
Red back there, that's my son. That's my youngest. My other
Awesome.
son couldn't be here. And family is beautiful. I love it. And I definitely have a purview more like Andrew Wilson, the Crucible. Shout out to the Crucible.
Nice.
And I know
Yep.
you guys have different purviews. They almost track. It's like I get both of them. I get his. I see the flaws in it.
Well, I actually
and
agree
I
with
get
his
yours
position.
because yours is secular, but I get that too. You almost have
Yeah.
to adapt.
And I like Andrew's theory, because his thing is like, look, don't get married with the state, which I actually 100% agree with. Like, if you want to get married religiously, do it. It's only when the state gets involved that I start to get like, nervous for people.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, kids, I used to read the Communist Manifesto. Man, I grew up. You just grow up. But this shout out to Josh, my nephew in North Carolina, who loves you, baby. Thank you, Myron, for
All right,
being
man. No worries, dude. Awesome mustache, by the way. All right. What's up?
What's up, Myron? I got two neutral questions for you. First
Right.
one being, do you think social media benefits society in a positive or a negative manner, like as a whole? And if so, why? And if not, why?
So, on the plus side, communication is easier. It's more convenient. You can stay in touch with those that you love or meet other people fairly quickly. We have more access than ever before. But on the negative side is blunted human interaction, made, obviously the pursuit of relationships and marriage significantly more difficult, especially for men. It's made it better for women, but worse for men. So it depends on which angle you want to, tackle it from. But it definitely has its pluses and negatives.
You said better for women and worse for men. Do you kind of consider like how a chick could just have a picture of her profile and she gets 30 DMs immediately?
Yeah, so what social media has basically done is it's given women, an incredible level of leverage in the dating marketplace to meet men and have options. And for men, it's completely, ostracized them because, we could use this college campus, right? So like, let's say a girl goes to school here, right? She meets a guy, nice dude, they have lunch together, eat at the chow hall, whatever. But then she's also on Tinder and Bumble, and she meets some guy that's like, I don't know, a hedge fund guy down the street, right? Or out of Fort Lauderdale, Miami. Well, who's going to be more attracted to her? Well, she has this cool guy that's here on campus, but there's another guy that she's been able to connect via the internet that has higher status, is able to provide a certain lifestyle. He's older. He has these things that women are looking for. That guy that would have been a good candidate for her is now kicked to the curb, and she's going to go with the other guy. And I don't think, we put enough... we don't put enough emphasis on how much access women have and how that's drastically changed the marketplace and relationships and intersexual dynamics between men and women. It's created far more opportunities for women while obviously destroying those same opportunities for men. And this is why we see so many guys as, people say incels or whatever, but this is why it's so tough for regular guys to get ahead.
I agree. One more. Would you rather be in the woods with a grizzly bear or on a plane with a female pilot?
With a grizzly bear, 100%.
Thank you.
With a grizzly bear, dude. We almost got hit by a female driver on the way here, dude. Just cross the street, like, oh. So.
What's up, Myron? I think I want to go back to the women in voting issue. So
Sure.
This question has been asked before, but I want to ask you again just to make sure. You think if women were included in the selective service that they should be entitled to have the right to vote?
Well, I'm not a fan of women being in the military at all.
Yeah, but
honestly.
assuming that,
especially in combat roles. Maybe support, but not combat at all.
Yeah, but assuming that they were, the liberal agenda.
Yeah, then we can make, like, at that point, we can make exceptions because obviously at that point it's earned.
Yeah. Okay, then what about men who are on the selective service list, but because of some life circumstances or disabilities, for example, they'll never actually serve, so they don't really have a stake in the country in the way that other men who might serve do?
Well, I mean, that's for the military to decide. They can bring you in and evaluate you and then decide if you're fit for duty or not. That's kind of their thing. But the point is that you still have to, so put yourself into the selective service at 18.
Do you think that those men who have no chance of ever actually serving, that they deserve the right to vote? If so, why?
More of a right than women do.
Why is that?
Because they have skin in the game automatically. If you don't enroll in the selective service, there's consequences for that. Significant consequences.
Yeah, but these men will never actually serve a day of combat or a support role because of some life circumstances or something. So how is that having skin in the game?
That's a case-by-case situation, but regardless, they still have to be in the selective service, which means by definition they have skin in the game. Now, are there going to be some exceptions and nuanced examples like you're trying to present? Sure. But in general, men must be in the selective service or there's serious financial and criminal consequences for that.
Yeah,
Women
sure.
don't.
I don't think that just being in the selective service, if you're never going to serve a day in your life, counts as having skin in the game. But let's
It absolutely
move on
does,
here.
because if you're not in it, you lose opportunities.
Why does that count as having skin in the game?
Okay. If you don't enter into the selective service as a guy and at 18, opportunities are closed on you versus women don't have to deal with that. So you have skin in the game by default.
Yeah, sure, but you're not buying into America in any meaningful way.
Which you
in
can
that
be is the
case.
point.
Yeah, but if you're like
So
one of
you
these-
by you going into selective service, by definition you have skin in the game.
Okay, sure. We can just agree to disagree here. Let's move on.
Okay.
What about buying into the country in other ways? For example, women pay taxes, and I think it's reasonable to say that someone who pays taxes has enough skin in the game to deserve to deserve a right to determine what goes on in the country.
It depends.
What do you mean it depends?
It depends. On every situation is going to be different. Like I said before, it depends on what their service is. If they just have like a regular job or whatever, and they're paying taxes, I still think basically my position is this. We got to go back to a patriarchy that isn't cucked.
Okay.
We have a gynocentric patriarchy where men are responsible for everything, but they don't have any real authority, versus women are not responsible for anything, but they have all the same authority. That's my problem.
I think women who pay taxes, work their own job, are bought into the country enough to deserve a right to vote. I think that's...
Okay, we can agree to disagree then.
Okay,
I gave
sure.
you my positions. I don't think they have skin in the game, which I established with selective service and other things. You think that doesn't count, but that's fine.
Yeah, sure. One last thing, I'd like to announce that on March 27th, we're actually having, I know one of your close friends, Destiny, here at UF2.
Was that the 27th Destiny is going to be here?
Yeah.
Cool.
Come into the Rights Grand Ballroom.
Nice. All right.
Okay, thanks, Myron.
Cool. I like Destiny.